Welcome to part 21 of Neo and JIHO. If you haven't hit that notification bell yet, make sure to do it so you don't miss any updates. And don't forget to subscribe to help support the channel. Thanks a lot. The boutique buzzed with quiet activity, but JIHO's world had narrowed to the elegant woman beside him. Neo stood beside a long mirror, her reflection glowing in the blue dress that hugged her curves in all the right ways. JIHO couldn't stop staring. Her smile, the way she moved, the lightness in her eyes, it was like watching a dream stitched into reality. "Mr. Kang," someone called softly from a distance, pulling him back. His phone vibrated in his pocket. It was Insu. JIHO stepped aside and answered with a low chuckle. "What's up, man?" Insu's voice came with a teasing urgency. "Hey, are you with Neo right now?" JIHO raised an eyebrow. "Yes?" "Okay, this might sound random, but can you ask her something for me?" JIHO smiled, already amused. "Insu, what are you scheming?" There was a dramatic pause. "Can you ask her if she's willing to give Tumi's number? I mean, I've been thinking, and I just want to talk to her." JIHO blinked, then laughed. "I'm serious," Insu said quickly, "but only if she's okay with it. I'm not trying to be weird." JIHO hung up with a grin, turning back toward Neo. She tilted her head, sensing the mischief in his smile. "What?" JIHO stepped closer, gently resting his hand on her waist. "That was Insu. He wants your help." "Oh?" Her eyebrows lifted. "He's asking for Tumi's number," JIHO said, watching her reaction. "Apparently he wants to get to know her." Neo blinked, then burst into a soft, knowing laugh. Without answering, she took JIHO's hand and led him away from the open floor of the boutique toward one of the quieter fitting rooms. It had a plush white bench, soft lighting, and the scent of lavender lingering in the air. "Why are we hiding in here?" JIHO asked, amused. She closed the door behind them, turning with a playful smile. "Because what I'm going to tell you is classified." JIHO crossed his arms, intrigued. "I'm listening." Neo leaned closer, voice playful. "Tumi already likes him." His eyes widened. "You're joking." "I'm not," she said, laughing. JIHO let out a hearty laugh. "Why are women always ahead of us?" Neo rolled her eyes. "Because we observe everything." They both shared a light-hearted chuckle, and JIHO shook his head. "Poor Insu. He's over there acting like he's about to propose, just asking for her number." Neo reached into her purse, took out her phone, and tapped in a number. "Here, pass it on." JIHO pulled out his phone and forwarded the number with a message. JIHO, "Mission accomplished. She's okay with it. Make your move." Scene shift, Insu's panic. Insu read the message and froze. His fingers hovered over the screen. His heart started doing wild backflips. "Should I call her?" "No, what if she's busy?" He stood up from the couch in his apartment and paced. Okay, just breathe. She's just a girl. But also, she's not just a girl, she's that girl." He sat back down, stared at the number again. His thumb hovered over the call button. Then he dropped the phone on the table and stood up again. "Nope, I'm not calling. Not like this." A few moments later, he picked the phone back up. "Okay, just message her like a normal human." He slowly typed out the message. "Insu. Hi, Tumi, how are you? This is Insu. I got your number from Neo. I hope that's okay. I would like to call you sometime if it's all right with you." Then he stared at it for 2 full minutes. Then sent. Tumi was sitting at her desk, a deep conditioning cap on her head, and a YouTube video paused on her screen. She wasn't expecting anything interesting. Then her phone vibrated. She glanced down and her heart skipped. The name on the screen didn't say Insu, of course. It was just a number. But the message? "Hi, Tumi, how are you? This is Insu." Her lips parted slightly. She read the message twice, then once more. A slow smile curved across her face. She whispered to herself, "So he did ask for it." She reached for her phone and paused. "Don't reply too fast." Then she laughed at herself. But she couldn't help it. She began typing, "Tumi. Hi, Insu, I'm doing well, thank you. And yes, it's totally okay. You can call me." Insu nearly dropped his phone when the reply came. He held it up like it was a sacred tablet, then reread it. "Again and again," she replied. She said, "I can call." She even added a smiley face. Insu exhaled sharply, whispered, "Okay, you're in." He picked up the phone and hit call. As it rang, his hands were sweaty. Her voice was calm and pleasant. "Hello?" Insu smiled, then stood up from the couch unconsciously as though standing might help his voice carry better. "Hi. Tumi? This is Insu. I hope this isn't a bad time." There was a slight pause, then a hint of recognition in her tone. "Oh, no, not at all. Hello?" "I just wanted to check in on you," he said, moving toward the large windows of his apartment, now washed in late afternoon sunlight. "I've had a bit of a free afternoon, and I was wondering if you might be up for some air." Tumi laughed softly, her voice lower now, a little curious. "Some air?" He chuckled with her. "That sounded strange, didn't it? I just meant I was thinking of going golfing. Nothing formal, just a casual game if you're into that. Or even if you're not," he added quickly, "I can teach you." She shifted the phone to her other ear, glancing out of the guest room window at JIHO's mansion garden. "You golf?" "I do," he replied, relaxing just a little now that the conversation had begun. "Not professionally, but I enjoy it. It's peaceful. The green, the walk, the rhythm of the game. It's a nice way to talk and get to know someone without sitting stiff at a table." There was a pause on the other end. "That sounds actually quite nice," Tumi said, almost surprised at herself. "I've never done it before, but I'm open." Insu felt a wave of quiet relief. "I'm happy to hear that. I thought I'd pick you up in about an hour, if that works. JIHO's place, right?" "Yes," she said with a soft smile in her voice. "I'll be ready." "And if you're hungry afterward," Insu added gently, "I know a place not far from the course. Very low-key, excellent food. We could grab something, if you're up for it." Her tone turned playfully uncertain. "We'll see what comes up." Insu's laughter was light and genuine. "Fair enough." They lingered for another moment on the line. The kind of quiet that wasn't awkward, just unfamiliar. "Well," he said finally, "I'll see you soon." "See you soon," she replied. As the call ended, both of them sat quietly for a moment, each in different places. Insu exhaled slowly, pocketed his phone, and walked back to his bedroom, pausing at the mirror again. He didn't say anything this time, just adjusted the sleeves of his shirt and smiled to himself. And in her room, Tumi stood and walked toward the small bag she had already laid out. She hadn't planned anything elaborate, but she did retouch her lip gloss, adjust her earrings, and glance at herself in the mirror with a slightly raised eyebrow. Maybe this wouldn't be so bad after all. She then sent Neo a message how Insu had called and now taking her out just to get to know each other. Neo sent back so many love hearts emojis. "Enjoy, my dear." Insu sat still in the driver's seat of his car, engine idling quietly in the curved driveway of JIHO's villa. The evening sun painted soft shadows across the walls, and the grand home behind him glowed warmly under amber lights. He had checked the time twice already, though he wasn't in a rush. He just wasn't used to this sort of thing, picking someone up like this. There was a different kind of nervousness stirring inside him, subtle but persistent. The heavy front door of the villa opened, and there she was. Tumi. She walked toward the car with quiet grace. Dressed in a pale green satin top that caught the light and high-waisted white trousers that fit her with effortless elegance. Her hair was neatly styled, framing her face with calm poise. As she stepped off the final stone of the porch, Insu quickly got out of the car. He stood a bit awkwardly, then smiled. "You look really beautiful." Tumi's expression lit up with a shy smile, surprised by the directness of his words. "Thank you, Insu. You look sharp, too." He laughed nervously and moved toward her. "Can I give you a hug?" She blinked, then nodded softly. Their hug was brief, tentative, the first time they'd touched like that. Insu had always been careful with her, never assuming too much closeness, but this moment felt quietly earned. When they pulled apart, they were both smiling. He opened the car door for her. "Shall we?" She slipped inside, adjusting her seatbelt. "Let's go." Shh. The car glided down the road smoothly, soft jazz humming in the background. They didn't speak for a few minutes, letting the silence ease into something comfortable. Trees lined the path, their branches swaying in the wind. "So," Insu said finally, stealing a glance at her, "tell me something you like." Something real. Tumi turned to look at him. Something I like? I like when the wind comes through the trees and it sounds like waves. I like tea without sugar. I like sitting on a balcony in the morning with a blanket over my legs and just being. Insu smiled. That sounds like a painting. And you? He thought for a moment. I like routines. They keep me sane. I like quiet places where I can think. I like people who surprise me without even trying. She nodded slowly. That's deep. I guess we're both a little deep. She laughed lightly, then paused, her tone turning thoughtful. Can I ask you something? Of course. Do you believe in God? The question caught him off guard, but not in a bad way. He kept his eyes on the road. I believe, but not the way most Christians do. I wasn't raised that way. My upbringing was more about being good, doing the right thing, being kind. Not so much about scriptures or church. But I've always believed there's something bigger, some kind of balance. I guess I'm open-minded, flexible, and I deeply respect people who are rooted in their faith. Tumi watched him, nodding slowly. For me, my faith is my grounding. I start everything from it. The Bible gives me a center, you know. I admire that about you, he said. You carry yourself like someone who knows where she stands. She smiled softly. Thank you. They drove on in silence for a while, comfortable again. What do you think about Africa? She asked. He tilted his head slightly. Africa? That's a big question. Honestly, I don't know much. I've only seen things in documentaries, you know, wild landscapes, poverty, traditions, bright colors. But I know that's just a surface view. I feel kind of naive about it. But I want to learn. I want to understand beyond what the media shows. Her eyes lit up. That means a lot. So many people think they already know. They don't even try to ask. I like asking questions, he said. She turned toward the window, watching the golden light shift across the trees. My culture is rich, and my people, they go through a lot. But there's so much strength there, so much joy, too, even in hard places. Insu glanced at her again. Sounds like I have a lot to learn. I could show you some things. I'd like that. They smiled at each other, and for a moment it felt like something had quietly changed. Shh. The car pulled into the wide drive of the golf course. Neatly trimmed green lawns spread out like velvet blankets. Trees stood like guardians along the perimeter, and a few other cars were scattered in the lot. Insu parked and stepped out first, then moved around to open Tumi's door. She stepped out, adjusting the strap of her small purse. You ever played golf before? He asked, locking the car. Only in my dreams, she said with a grin. So, prepare to be amazed. He laughed. I like your confidence. Come on, let me show you how not to hold a club. They walked side by side toward the clubhouse, their steps light. The day had started ordinary, but already it was something different, something worth remembering.